I know the imposter syndrome really well. For me, it kicked in after I finished my guitar degree. I thought, now I'm a professional, now it actually counts. And suddenly, while playing, I wasn't hearing music anymore. I was hunting for mistakes. And the crazy thing is, that's exactly how I started creating them. And when people complimented me, I wouldn't take it. With audience, I think, they're not competent enough to judge this. With musician colleagues, I thought, they're just being nice. If you recognize that, let's talk about what's happening psychologically and how to get out of it. Why musicians are especially vulnerable and why it can feel existential. Musicians live in a world of constant evaluation. Audiences, teachers, bandmates, juries, social media, and often the harshest judge is you. And there's another layer that makes it heavier. A lot of us grow up with this idea that only the visible, successful ones can really make it. The Taylor Swifts of the world. Though the question, am I good enough, can start to feel existential. Like, can I actually survive in this field? Do I belong here? Is this future real? That's why imposter syndrome isn't just uncomfortable, it can feel threatening. What imposter syndrome actually is in musician language. Imposter syndrome doesn't mean you're bad. It means your brain has learned to treat success as not proof and mistakes as evidence. Outside, that was great. Inside, luck, timing, they're being nice, next time I'll be exposed. It's less about truth and more about a stress pattern in an evaluation-heavy environment. The 4 common thought patterns with musician examples. I just got lucky. That's success discounted. Great rehearsal, luck. Great gig, luck. Great take, luck. This keeps you from updating your self-image. Second, real musicians are out there. I'm just pretending. That's belonging gets denied. You look at others and think they're legitimate, and you are the exception. If I make a mistake, I'll be exposed. That's number 3. Mistakes becomes identity. A wrong note isn't an event. It becomes a verdict. I'm incompetent. 4. They don't really hear how bad I am. So praise doesn't count. Praise gets invalidated. That's a classic imposter move. Audience praise, they don't know what they are listening for. Colleague praise, they're just being polite. Result, you receive positive feedback, but your system refuses to store it, so you are always behind, no matter what happens. The missing link, failure expectation, the quiet few. Now here's the piece many musicians miss. Failure expectation. This isn't just nerves, it's the internal forecast. This will go wrong. Musician examples, I'm going to crack on the high note. For the singer. I'll rush the chorus again. For example, for the drummer. In the audition, I'll mess up the entrance. That's for everyone. In rehearsal, I shouldn't speak up. People will notice I don't know enough. And failure expectation usually creates free coping strategies that help short-term but shrink your long-term. First, over-control perfectionism. You don't play musically, you play safe. You trade expression for control. Second, avoidance. You stop showing your work, stop taking gigs, stop auditioning, stop posting, stop collaborating. Third, self-sabotage. I didn't have enough time to practice anyway. It's a shield against shame because if it goes badly, you have an excuse. Imposter syndrome is often the story in your head. Failure expectation is the engine that drives your behavior. The mindset that actually helps. The helpful mindset isn't "I'm always confident." It's this: I'm not playing to prove my worth. I'm playing to execute a process. And a mistake is an event, not an identity. Professionals don't need zero fear. They need reliability. I can be nervous and still do my job. I can make a mistake and recover. My value isn't decided by one moment. So here are some tools. Tool 1, evidence over feeling. Stop debating your mind. When you're in imposter mode, telling yourself "I'm good enough" often feels fake. Instead, collect evidence. Exercise about 30 seconds. Create a note on your phone called evidence list and add 3 entries. First, one high pressure moment you handled: a gig, a recording, exam, difficult rehearsal. Second, one objective fact: booked, hired, passed, released, paid, invited. Third, one measurable improvement: tempo, intonation, timing, range, repertoire, technique. Then, when the thought hits "I'm incompetent," don't argue. Just read the list. Feelings are weather. Evidence is ground. Tool 2. Replace identity language with process language. Imposter talk is identity talk. I'm bad, I'm incompetent, I don't belong. Skill building talk is process talk. My timing drifted in the chorus. My entrance was unclear. My breath support dropped on the phrase. 3 question reset after a rehearsal, gig or practice session. What was exactly difficult? Just name one thing. What was already stable? At least one thing. What's the next tiny step? 10 minutes, not 3 months. Example: I'm terrible becomes my entrance was shaky. Next practice: 5 slow repetitions with click, then 5 in context. This pulls you out of shame and back into action. Tool 3. Anti-failure expectation. If-then plans give your nervous system safety. If you expect failure, you don't need a motivational speech. You need a plan for the moment so your nervous system knows what to do. Try these musician-specific if-then statements. If I feel myself rushing, then I exhale one fully and simplify the next phrase by 10%. If I make a mistake, then I look onto the next beat and return to groove immediately. If my hands tighten, then I release shoulders and jaw and focus on sound, not correctness. If I freeze in rehearsal, then I ask one concrete question instead of disappearing. This is the real shift, not I must not fail, but I can regulate and recover. Bonus: make praise count. Turn compliments into data. Because you mentioned it, and it's huge. The praise doesn't count reflex. Next time someone says, "That was really good, try this," thank you. What exactly did you like? Now you get data. Tone, timing, expression, groove, interpretation, presence. Write that into your evidence list. You're training your brain to stop deleting success. So, imposter syndrome in musicians is often a stress pattern inside a high evaluation world. And failure expectation is the fuel that keeps it running. Take these 3 things. First, evidence list, instead of debating your feelings. 2, process language, instead of identity verdicts. 3, if-then plans, instead of "I must be certain." If you want, I share a 1-page worksheet called Impostor Reset for Musicians, evidence list template, the 3 questions reset, and a pre-gig if-then routine. Link is in the description. And tell me in the comments, where does failure expectation hit you hardest? Stage, rehearsal, studio, or social media? Thanks for watching.